Everyone, first I just want to start out by saying God is great and He's given me so many blessings and got me through so much. And I just want to put a little warning. This is about sexually abuse. So if you are a little iffy or you just don't want to hear about it, just don't watch it. But this is my story and I'm going to tell it, and it needs to be told. So it all started, and first I want to ask how everybody's doing, and I hope you are having a great new year 2025. I hope it's treating you well. Not so well for me, but that's another story. And the teeth and how I lost it, that video is, I can't talk with them. That video is going to come up, but you just need to know a little bit more about me before that. So, this is where I'm going to start. I was 15. I got my first boyfriend. Before that, I was playing with baby dolls and staying with my best friend and being with my grandparents and just having fun on the street and playing hopscotch and, playing cards, 500 rummy with my mama and my best friend at the time, and just enjoying my life. I wound up liking a boy. I was 15 and I fell for this boy like he was the only guy in the world, well, boy in the world. Like, that's all I saw was him. I was obsessed. I wanted to be with him. I loved him down. To the point where I was like, we're getting married. He was about a year or two older than me. We stayed together for a good 6-7 months. So I thought everything was good. It was just going to be my 16th birthday, I think it was. Yeah. I think it was just going to be my 16th birthday. He comes to me and said, I have to break up with you. You're too young, this, that, and the third. No, it wasn't because of that. It was because I wouldn't give it up. And all my friends were giving it up to their boyfriends. They all lost their V card. I was the only one walking around being a virgin. And I took pride in that. I was like, I ain't doing it until I get married, because I ain't having no kids. I ain't getting in trouble by my dad. Ain't happening. So I wasn't planning on doing that. No. He got mad because I wouldn't have sex with him. He actually tried one time where we hung out in this schoolyard. He took me in the back and he took it out and he put it near me, and I put my hand up to stop him. Like, I pushed it away. I was like, no. Oh my God, what is that? Like, it scared me. It was ugly. It was like, ugh. And I ran. He got so mad at me. Well, anyway, his ex-girlfriend started coming around. And I knew it was his ex-girlfriend, but we were broken up, so I couldn't do nothing. His ex-girlfriend started coming around. She had already lost her V card. She was in a long relationship with somebody. They had broke up, so she went to him because they went out before. And she was not a virgin, so she was giving it up. And that's what he wanted. So, okay. I became best friends with this girl to be close to him. That's how weird, okay, I was. And me and her were sleeping over each other's houses. We were like this. You couldn't separate us. Where I was, she was. We were best friends. Even though she started going out with him and I was still in love with him. Like, I was in my room singing love songs and sing love songs. Like, you don't love me no more. What did I do wrong? Why ain't I pretty enough? The whole 9 yards. All the NSYNC love songs you can think of. Sad ones I was listening to. And especially Jagged Edge, Promise. That was my song. But anyway, so we broke up. She had to go away with her parents because it was like a summer vacation thing. Like, we were off from school. And she went away, and right before she left, she came to me and she was like, watch him for me and make sure, he don't get with nobody and cheat on me. Okay, I got you, girl. She trusted me. Okay. So that same weekend, my parents had a wedding to go to. So they planned for me, my brother, and my sister. I'm the oldest. Me and my sister are 10 months and 2 days apart, and we have a brother that's 3 years younger than us. They planned for us to stay at my dad's parents' house, my mama and pop-ups, where I absolutely loved, and I lived there almost. That's another story, because I hated being with my parents. So I had my own bed there and everything. So that was the plan, for us to sleep there. Well, I convinced my parents to let me sleep at one of my girlfriend's house. They were sisters. I was friends with both of them. I think this older sister was a little bit older than me, but it was okay. I said I was sleeping over there. They covered for me. What did I do? I'm going to throw a party in my house. My parents ain't home. So I got some 40s. I invited 2 of my friends over. They were boys. And I really thought I could trust them. Like, one lived directly down the street from me. My mom literally worked with his grandmother. The other one I went to school with from kindergarten to almost 8th grade with. But I got left back. That's another story. So I grew up with these kids. I knew them. I trusted them. So they came over. We're drinking. We're laying there on a couch together. I'm down in 40s like nothing. Asked me to take a drink today, I can't do it. But I was down in 40s, feeling good. He couldn't finish his, I finished his. Somehow, some way, we winded up upstairs in my room. We started making out, me and the one kid that I went to school with. We started making out. And I always thought it was cute, but he was going out with one of my friends that I hung out with. So I was like, he's off limits. But they had broke up too, because she cheated on him. So we were all hanging there. So we're making out in my bed. And from what he told me is we started to have sex. And as we were in the middle of it, and why the other kid that was with us was in the room too watching, I don't know why. That's just weird to me. But as we were making out, or whatever you want to say, I hear bang, 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 bang on my bedroom window. Because my bedroom window, you could go out and there was a roof you could sit on. And then they tore down the house, and it was a big open field that went right across to the next street where my best friend lived at the time. So you could literally walk up that block, go through that little field that they had where they knocked down the house, climb up the tree or the little ladder they had, and you could get right onto my roof, into my room. And they all knew that, so that's what they did. So 4 or 5 of them, my ex-boyfriend was one of them, came up. They started banging, let me come in, let me come in. Me, I'm drunk, I'm happy. I thought it was going to be a party. We were all going to have fun. I'm like, yeah, come on in, have fun with me. Blah, 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 blah. So what I was told was I started making out with my ex-boyfriend. I thought he liked me again, and we were going to be together again, and he said, I'm going to break up with her when she comes back. I'm in love with you. I'm sorry I hurt you, this, that, and the third. I believed him. Now, I'm drunk, not in the right state of mind. He knows this. And I don't even remember. This is what I was told. I'm going off of what I was told. He took advantage of me in my parents' bedroom. We winded up outside somehow. And I said, I have a headache so bad. So the kid that was hanging out with me, he lived down the street from me. He said, I have something for your headache. Well, I trusted him. You know, he lived down the street. I grew up with him. You know, I didn't think he was going to do anything to hurt me. Here he gave me 2 Xanax. If you don't know what Xanax are, they're a benzodiazepine. And they're for anxiety. And they make you forget. And they make you slur. And it's just one of them feelings like you're out of it. I don't know how to explain it. But I didn't know what they were. I thought they were aspirins. I took them. Next thing you know, I don't remember anything. I blacked out. They're carrying me. They said they carried me down the street to where my other friend, one of the other boys worked at. It was a pizza place. They brought me in there. The boss saw me. And they were like, get her out of here. I don't want to be responsible if anything happens to her in this store. She's drunk. She don't know what she's doing. Blah, 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 blah. So they dragged me outside. And they were like, yo, to my friend that worked there, let us take her in the basement. We can go through the back, because there was a back way into the basement where the boss wouldn't have seen. Thank God this friend was a good friend to me, and he still is to this day. He was like, no, she don't deserve that. Why are you doing this to her? I didn't know this. And he was like, I don't want nothing to do with it. Go somewhere else and do this. I'm working. I don't have time for this. So they winded up taking me to some old guy's house they know, where they had weed and pills and everything like that there. So once we got there, there was another boy that we're hanging out with. And it's now almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't think a 15-year-old girl should be walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's what I was doing. Thinking I was grown and nobody's going to touch me, you know? Knowing I was one of the shyest and scaredest kids out there. Like, I was petrified of my own shadow. I cried over everything. I was a crybaby growing up. That's what I was. So they took me there. Another kid that we were hanging out with showed up, and he took me into the back room, and he took advantage of me. So 3 guys had raped me. One was my best friend, one was an ex-boyfriend, and another one was a really good friend of mine that I didn't think he would do that to me. Like, I hung out with these kids every single day. They came to my house. They called my mom, Mom. Like, there was just a bond. And you know how, like, when there's a crew and you hang out, there's, like, leaders to the people, like, the main people. I was the main person, the main girl, and my boyfriend at the time was the main boy. So everybody followed us, and where we went, they went. And that's how it worked out. So, anyway, back to the story. The kid took me into the back room. He did whatever to me. And I think that's when I started snapping out of it, because that's when I started waking up, and I started, this is where I can remember from. I started screaming his name, the kid's, my ex-boyfriend's name. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. I want to get out of here. Please get me out of here. So he takes me out of there. Now I'm drunk. They gave me 2 Xanaxes, so I'm high on them. I didn't know. Sorry. I have really bad anxiety. So when I talk about this, I might have to stop and catch my breath, just because my anxiety takes a hold of me that bad. And it brings up really bad memories. To this day, it still does. And I was screaming, please help me, get me out of here. I don't want to be here no more. Like, I was crying my eyes out so bad. He took me out. He took me to the corner of his street, and that's usually where we all hung out of anyway. Hold on 1 second. My cat's, you know, acting up. Come on, Gorn. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So he took me to his house, and we're sitting on the corner, and he's trying to explain what was going on, but I was so emotional. I was like, I just want to get to my mom and pop's house. Like, I want to get there. I just want to feel safe. I don't want to be here no more. I'm tired. His mom comes out. You better get in this house right now. What do you think you are? You're not grown. You have to get in here. It's 2 o'clock in the damn morning. So he had to go in. He knocked on his friend's door that lived down the street to come out and sit with him, because his mom didn't care. So he came out, and his older brother came out, and they were sitting with me and talking to me and calming me down, telling me I was okay and everything like that. So I think like maybe a half hour or 45 minutes, they said, had passed. They turned around and they were like, we're bringing you to your mom's house. We're going to walk you there and make sure you get there safe. So that's what they did. So I got to there. I'm banging, and I'm banging on my mom and pop store. And I'm banging. They couldn't hear me. They were deep sleepers when they were sleeping. And my brother and sister were sleeping there. I'm surprised they didn't hear because they woke up like that. Well, no, they were heavy sleepers too, I think. But the next door neighbor, my mom's friend, heard me banging and crying, screaming for them. She came out. Anna, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing here? Like, what are you even doing outside at this time? Are you crazy? Like, they're going to kill you. My parents were strict, yes. And I was at my friend's house, and I had a nightmare, and I needed to get out of there, and I just want to be with my mom and papa. Please help me. So she went in, and she was like, Anne, your granddaughter's outside, and she's screaming. Something happened. She had a nightmare. She needs to get into your house. Not even 2 seconds later, my papa comes running down. These are my dad's parents, who I love dearly. I lived with them basically because I did not like being with my parents. I hated living in that house with them. That's another story I will get into. So he lets me in. He asked me what happened. I told him I had a nightmare. You know, I just want to be here. I want to feel safe, and I just want to, I'm tired and I want to go to sleep. So I went upstairs. I had my own little bed. It was a little cot, and it was at the edge of their bed. And my mama would sleep down that way. Like, her head would be at the foot, and my pot would sleep at the head of the bed. They were older, they didn't have to sleep like that. So my brother and sister were sleeping on the floor, and I crawled into my bed, and I fell asleep, knowing I was safe. And it was the best feeling in the world. And I loved it. I felt safe. And I was like, okay, it's over. I fell asleep. I woke up. My mom and dad are home. They're telling us what happened to them. They got pulled over. My mom was just drunk driving because they were at a wedding. They didn't get in trouble or nothing, but they lost the truck they had. So that's that. And we're all sitting there listening to the story, and me and my sister are sitting on the couch. And my sister looks over to me and goes, Anne, what's on your neck? And I'm like, on my neck? Hold on, I have to pee. Sorry about that. That came out of nowhere. But yeah, anyway, I was sitting there on the couch, and my sister said, what is on your neck, Anne? And I'm like, my neck? What are you talking about? She said, go in the bathroom and look at your neck. I go upstairs. Thank God my hair was down. And I have anxiety, so if you see me trying to catch my breath or taking a pose, I'm trying to calm down a little bit, that's all. Go upstairs, I look in the mirror. Big hickey. I'm like, where did this big ass hickey come from? Nobody touched me. Like, I'm not, ew, what happened? So I automatically grabbed my brother's bike. I hopped on it, and I'm driving around the neighborhood trying to find anybody that I can remember that I was with the night before. So I ran into the 2 kids I started the night out with. And as I'm driving around, the older girls that we hung out with, that we looked up to actually, they were laughing while I was driving around. Ain't you sore? Like, shouting out comments. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You ain't making no sense. I'm not sore. I'm fine. Like, I didn't feel like anything happened to me. I was normal. So as I'm riding around on this bike, I ran into the 2 kids I started the night out with. I said, please tell me what happened. Where did this come from? They said, you don't remember anything? I said, look at me. Do I look like I remember a damn thing? So they sat me down and they were like, we're going to tell you everything that happened, and we're sorry from the bottom of our hearts. And I'm like, okay. So they told me what had happened. And they said, the one kid said, I took advantage of you because you were drunk. Your ex-boyfriend came over, you let him in, he got you in your mom's room, he took advantage of you, and then they took you to, they said the guy's name, but I don't remember, it was an old guy's house, and they said, the other kid got you. I said, what? They said, yeah, you know, all three of us did that to you. I started immediate crying. How could you do this to me? I thought you were my best friend. I can't believe this. You know my mom. You call her mom. Like, why would you do this to me? So I secluded myself because I was so embarrassed about what happened. And I know the story was going to get out because the kids were gossipers. So yeah, the story got out. All my friends found out what happened, and they were all making fun of me for it. A couple of my girlfriends came around to see if I was okay. I wouldn't leave my street. I was embarrassed, and it was just a scary feeling to know that happened to me. So the one kid, the first kid that, you know, did that to me, that took advantage of me, I'm going to say, he came over, he literally kissed my feet and tried to say sorry and apologize. And he was crying. He felt so bad for what he did. And my dumbass forgave him. The other two, no. They never apologized for it or nothing like that. And they passed away. So I'm never going to get that from them. And I don't care to. I'm over it. You know, it hurt me in the time, yes, but I'm over it. I'm okay now. I'm safe. I know that. Still have nightmares of it, of course, but I know I'm okay and I'm safe. They have to live with that for the rest of their lives, that they raped an innocent girl that didn't do nothing to nobody, that was just trying to have fun and grow up and, you know, experience stuff. And that's it. And I was beside myself that I was in my house crying in my bed, and my parents kept asking me, what's wrong? Why aren't you going out? Like, you're on the step playing with Legos. What are you doing? Like, why aren't you hanging out with your friends? And I'm like, I just don't want to be around them, Mommy. And I'm in bed screaming, crying. So I told them, you know, I'm not getting along with them. I want to move. I want to move. And they were like, why? What had happened? And I'm like, well, Kelly wants to fight me because Steve, I mentioned names, sorry, wanted to fight, this girl wants to fight me, and I don't want to fight her. And they were like, okay, calm down, you know, whatever. I told my mom a lie or something like that. And she secured me and held me and held me and everything and told me I was going to be all right. Well, it got back to the girl, my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend at the time. She was on vacation, told me to watch him. Remember? I told you that. She said, please keep an eye on him. Don't let him cheat on me. The story got back to her, but the story was mixed up 10 different ways from Sunday. So the version she got was that I just had sex with her boyfriend because I wanted to, not the real reason why. So she was mad. She wanted to fight me right off the bat. All the girls were coming around. Kelly's going to beat your ass. She said she's going to whoop your ass. She's going to smash your face in the ground. You ain't going to have no teeth left. She's going to put you in the hospital. Now, my heart's beating. I never fought a day in my life. I never liked to fight. I wasn't a fighting type of person. Not that. I wasn't that girl. I was the quiet girl in the back. My sister had the mouth and wanted to talk to people. And that's how I met friends, is through my sister. Because I was too shy to. I was the girl that, you know, I'm good being on my own. I'm quiet and in the background, you know. So she wanted to fight me, and I didn't understand why. I'm like, he took advantage of me. I didn't jump on him and was like, oh, I'm taking him back or whatever. The dude fed me lies, too. He said, I'm going to break up with her. I don't love her. I love you, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay, if she wants to fight me, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't care. And they're all like, you're not pregnant. You had sex with 3 different boys. I can't believe you're not pregnant. You're going to get pregnant. Da, 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 and you're not going to know who the baby daddy is. Never got pregnant. At that time, I didn't know I couldn't have kids. But I didn't get pregnant. Thank God. That would have been so bad. So that happened. My dumbass still tried to go around and hang out with these people. For a week straight, I knew the girl wanted to fight me. So my dad prepared me. He told me what to do, how to fight, where to hit, you know, the special spots, the neck, the nose, to hit them in it, and it could, you know, whatever. So for a week straight, for 4 days straight, I was going to school in sweatpants and Timbs, ready. I was ready. Not willing, didn't want to, but I was ready to defend myself. Nothing happened. All week, nothing happened. That Friday, I let my guard down. It was called Hog Island Day. Every Friday, it was this little place. It was a mummer's place. They opened it up for the kids to come, and they had a dance for 2 hours. You stayed there, you listened to music, you drank. You know, they had sodas and food and everything there. And it was just a good time for kids, young kids. So I got dressed up. I was in my little bell bottoms with my little dress shoes, with my hair done, looking cute, thinking I looking cute, everything like that. That's when she walks up to me. She was like, I want to fight you. You fucked my man. What story did you hear? Because your man raped me. No, he didn't. He wouldn't do that. You forced yourself on him. Now I'm going, Steve, I'm not saying the name. I'm going to him, please tell her what you did. What are you talking about? And he denied the whole thing. I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. So she gets me a little, like maybe a block away from the school. So we weren't on school grounds and we couldn't get in trouble for fighting on school grounds. She goes, I want to fight you, but I'm making rules. There's no scratching, there's no biting, no hair pulling, and it's going to be a good street fight just using our fists. Okay. Well, as we're talking and she's setting rules, I still have my backpack on, still trying to tell her what's going on to try to not fight her. Another fight broke out across the street from us. She knew them, so she ran over to get involved in that. She was one of them girls that like to fight, that like the drama. She enjoyed it. So she watched that fight. So I'm over there, and I'm like, what am I going to do? This girl's going to beat my ass. And my dad's going to get mad at me because he's going to think I didn't defend myself. And that's my dad's big thing. You better put your hands up, because if you don't put your hands up, you're going to get an ass whooping from me. So you better put your hands up. So I had to put my hands up, or I was going to get it from my father. I'd rather get beat by the girl than my dad. That's all I know. So I was like, okay. So she came over after the fight was over, and she was like, okay, it's time. We're fighting now. So I was like, all right, I'm taking my book bag off. I went like this. And as I went like that, she went, boom, and snuck me. Dirty ass fighting. When she laid the rules down, no sneaking, no pulling hair, no biting, she did all of the above. I didn't. I was using my fist and my feet and my boobs as a weapon. Even my head. I was head banging her. Like, head hitting her. So we're fist fighting. She thought she was going to destroy me. She really did. She thought she was going to smash my face in. Here I'm fighting her. I blacked out. When I fight, I black out because I get so emotional that I cry from the anger. Like, tears were coming out because I was so mad. When I came to, I had her in a headlock, and I was kicking her. I don't even know how I got to that. And then I guess I blacked out again because I came to and my feet were underneath her shirt and I was kicking her in her chest and she couldn't take it and she fell back. So she backed up and she was like, okay, fight's over, I'm done. Her whole hair was messed up. Everything was messed up. Her clothes, everything. The only thing that was messed up on me was my hair. So I straightened it all back up. I put it in a ponytail. I left my shoes, they were dress shoes, I left them laying in the middle of the street. I was in some socks. I walked away, I went across the street, I left her. All the boys started coming around because it was a big circle formed around us and watched us fight. They all came up to me shaking my hand. I can't believe how good you did. You beat her ass. Yo, she was saying she was going to put you in the hospital. You showed her she ain't the toughest bitch around here no more. You do know how to fight. You were just hiding it. So it made me feel good. Well, she saw and heard all that. She started popping off again. So I was like, you want it again? You want to go again? And she didn't say nothing. She tried to fix her hair or whatever. This bitch, you know what she did? She went to the school cops and told on us. The whole point was to get off of school property so we weren't going to get suspended. Now, my dad didn't care if I was going to get suspended over it or not. All he cared about is if I was going to defend myself and put my hands up and fight. Because that's what he taught us our whole lives. You win some, you lose some. As long as you put your hands up, that's all that matters. So that's what I did. So I was so happy and proud of myself. I couldn't believe she went and she ratted us out because the cops seen her hair messed up and her clothes messed up and they asked her what happened and she told them. And I'm like, wow, that was such a bitchy move. Like, why the hell did she do that? So we wound up getting suspended for 3 days. Guess what? My dad made me a special dinner that night. And for the 3 days that I was suspended, he gave me an extra hour on my curfew. He was so proud of me that I stuck up and I beat this girl up. He was so proud of me. I was like, okay. So after the fight happened, all the girls started coming around my street because I still wasn't, going out. I wasn't talking to nobody or anything like that. I was to myself still. And they were like, oh, I can't believe it. You did it. Maybe the story is true. And, they tried to be my friend. Fake friends. They were all fake friends. What did my dumbass try to do? I kept trying to go around there and hang out with them. All they were doing was making fun of me. That's all they were doing, and I was taking it just because I wanted to be around people and friends, which I thought were friends. But one of my good friends came. She had moved, so I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was like, I'm getting you away from them. You don't deserve it. Come hang around where I am, up 10th Street. So I was like, okay. And to this day, I still thank her for that because she got me out of one of the hardest situations I could ever think of. But I cried to my mom and dad, I don't want to live here no more. I want to move. I want to move. I can't do it. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Well, in the middle of all that, my brother winds up getting into an accident. He was pronounced dead 3 times. He was on a bike and he got hit by a car. A car ran a yellow light going like 70 miles an hour and hit him. He went like 20 feet up in the air and slammed down. He didn't have a helmet on or nothing. They didn't think he was going to make it. They gave him his last rites 3 times. So that was so scary. We literally lived in Children's Hospital. Like McDonald's was giving us food for free. We were sleeping there. We lived there. So we ended up moving to around the neighborhood where I started hanging out at and I started making new friends at, and I was closer to this one girl that I started talking to again. She was older than me, but I knew her growing up. I knew who she was, and she was a good girl. She was a good person. She still is. I love her down. Even though she's going through a hard time and she's on drugs right now, I still love her. but she got me away from it. So we moved. You want to know what happened? I moved to get away from all that. They all followed me. Bitch, you didn't want me around there when I tried to hang around you. Now that I moved and I have new friends, why are you around here trying to make friends with my friends? Oh, we love you. We want to be here for you. You are our best friend. Then why didn't you pick up for me? Where were you when I needed you? That's when I realized who my friends were and who my associates were. And I started speaking up for myself. And I wasn't taking it no more. Like, I was tired of being used by people. And I think it was just because that's the person I am. I have a big heart. And I think I have like an empath in me. Because I feed off of other people's feelings. I could feel what they're feeling. And I could feel the hate they had in them for me. And they were smiling like everything was fine. And it was like, you hate me deep down inside. Even the girl that fought me started coming around, wanting to be my best friend, wanting to sleep over my house again, hanging out, wanting to be with me all the time. Why do you want to be with me, bitch? You wanted to fight me when I was hanging out down there. And now that I moved, you are all coming up here and following me. Why? Who am I? I'm not nobody special. Why are you following me? So they all started coming around and coming around and coming around. Eventually, I pushed them away. Believe me, I pushed them all away. And I made new friends. And I didn't talk to them people ever again. They were out of my life. The one, my ex-boyfriend, he overdosed. He passed away, so he's not there. That person that raped me, he's gone. The other kid, I think he moved out of state. I don't know, or he might have passed away. I'm not sure because he was on drugs too. And the other one's still walking around, and he has a daughter. And guess what? God gave him that daughter because of what he did to show him. And I never got an apology from them. Only an apology from the one. And that's the one that was kissing my feet and begging me to forgive him, and I did, and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah. So, I was raped by 3 people. Ex-boyfriend and 2 of my best friends. I thought it would never happen to me. You know, people care about me. They ain't going to do that to me. I've heard so many stories about it, but it's not, I'm okay. I'm telling you, that taught me such a lesson. And that's when I was like, wow, God is great. Look at the situation he got me out of. And look at the situation I'm in now. Like, I was so happy. I moved. I met new friends. I started talking to a new boy. I told him what happened to me, so he was very, very gentle with me. He wasn't forcing me to do nothing. He on my own time, because I considered myself a virgin still, because I didn't physically seek to lose my virginity. Somebody took that away from me. So when people are telling, oh, my first time was so magical and I lost my virginity to such a special person. No, my story of losing my virginity is the worst day of my life, almost. And I think this is one of the most hardest videos that I ever want to make, because I'm actually telling the public about this. I've never spoke up about this before. Not even to my parents. I think I might have told them about this because the boy I got with when I moved, that was really nice to me and gentle and everything like that. Anna, we'll call him because that was his tag name. May he rest in peace. He also died over overdose, and I'm going to get into a lot of those videos because that affected my life also. But he was like, you got to tell your parents, or I'm telling them. He literally found the 3 kids and he beat them up bad. Him and his friends beat these kids up, like, really bad. Went under the bridge and wrote their names real big in spray paint and said they're rapists and put them out there. Like, they got paid back the right way by the people that really did care about me and my real friends that I made. And I know the girl, I want to say her name so bad, but I can't. But you know who you are, because you saved me from 4th Street and brought me to 10th Street, so you know who you are. Every bad situation I was in, she was always there to help me get me out of it. And she did, and she was always by my side and never judged me for it, and never looked at me different, and always had respect for me, and was always there for me, and we always had the best time together. But she's not doing so good either, so. But I'll get back in contact with her. But that is a hard story. Could you imagine being 15 years old and your innocence getting taken away from you like that? Like, I know 15, 16-year-olds now walk around like you're grown and, you know, you think you're ready. Please, take your time. Enjoy being a kid. Don't grow up so fast. There's plenty of time, believe me, there's plenty of time for all that. Hang out with your friends. Go to the mall, go to the movies, go shopping, take pictures, do TikTok dances together. Host dinners, you know, do fun stuff, play games, play with baby dolls, hell, if you have to. Like, play house with each other and act like you're, you know, babysitting for people, and just make the best out of it. Because when you try to grow up too fast, consequences happen, and you have to deal with them for the rest of your life. And I was so ashamed of myself for so long because I thought it was my fault. Like, I did that to myself. I put myself in that situation. I drank. But therapy helped a lot. I should have stuck with it. I think I should go back. But they helped me understand that it wasn't my fault. And they made me write out the letters to each one, telling them how they ruined my life and everything like that. And it kind of cleared my heart, but it still sits heavy on my heart very much. And I'm okay with that because it makes me who I am. And it makes me grateful for what I have and who I have now. Because I have the best husband in the world now. Even though we're going through some hard times right now, and 2025 is not treating us right at all. My anxiety, it gets me like this, and I'm very, very sorry. And to anybody else out there with anxiety issues, please let me know. I'm sorry if this offended anybody. I'm sorry if it's not what you wanted to hear, but this is my life, my truth, my story is my platform. And I'm gonna tell my stories, and that's it. So, yeah, that's in a nutshell, basically, what happened to me and how I got my virginity stolen from me. Not taken, not given, stolen from me. It was stolen at such a tender young age, where I should have been playing with dolls, hanging out with my friend. I wanted to grow up so fast, and now that I'm grown, and I'm going to be 40 almost, in July, it's like, I wish I would have took my time and not even had a boyfriend, because my best friend that I grew up with, she wasn't into boys yet. She was still into playing hopscotch, and that's what she still wanted me to do that, and I was too concerned about that damn boy that I lost my best friend in it all, because I picked that stupid boy over my best friend. And I tried to get back in good graces with her, and I did for a little bit here and there, but it was never how it was. And I don't think it ever will be. Now she's married and has 2 kids, and I heard she's doing fabulous. So, you know who you are too. Dare for Street, that's all I got to say. And I love you. Best friends forever, remember. But yeah, that's my story. And there's going to be more stories, and it's going to lead up to how I lost my teeth. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry if you didn't. If anybody's ever been any kind of situation like this, or what's the hardest thing that happened to you that you were so ashamed of that you didn't want to tell nobody, leave it in the comments. Maybe we can make it a subject and talk about it, because a lot of people are scared of judgment and are scared to tell their truth because they're scared of what other people's going to say. Don't be scared of what other people's going to say. There's going to be people that's going to hate. There's going to be people that's going to support you. There might be people that this did happen to that it might hit home and maybe it helps somebody. There's many different ways to look at it. But thank you for sticking around and listening, and there will be many more stories to come. Thank you to everyone. I hope everyone has a blessed day. Enjoy the snow if you got some. Let me know. And leave in the comments again, what are you most humiliated about? Or what would you be humiliated about? Or let me know what you think about this story. I would really appreciate it. Any support counts. Thank you. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want. There's going to be a lot more stories to come. Bye. Till next time.